YouTube, it's Zapdos TCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. On this channel you get daily Pokemon TCG uploads, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. 70% of the people that are watching the daily uploads are actually not subscribed, which actually boggles my mind, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. And with that being said, today we're going to be checking out the Limitless page because we're going to be checking out some Japanese City League results. City Leagues are actually very similar to League Cups with 64 players over in the East, over in Japan, and they're already playing with the Twilight Masquerade card. So we're gonna have a sneak peek of what is being good, what remains good, what falls off, and all that good stuff. So if you guys are enjoying the content, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It only requires 1 tiny second of your time, and it does help out the channel tremendously. So I would, always, and really appreciate it. With that being said, let's just dive into this video. But before we check out all these wonderful deck lists from over in Japan, be sure to of course check out the sponsors for today's video. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. You can use the coupon ZAPDOS5 to get 5% off on everything on the website. There's YourPlaymat.com to of course create your own unique custom playmat. There's PhotonStore.com where you're able to buy and the codes for TCG Live, to be honest. So you're gonna get promo codes, booster packs, etc. all the way from email delivery into your TCG Live account. And there's CARDMARKET.com for European players where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. With that being said, let's just dive into a couple of these tournaments. We are going to see a couple of them from last weekend, from the 21st of April is the one from Chiba here. Let's see here what's going on. We're only going to be checking out the top 4 and maybe talk about some unique deck lists that I see along the way. So it seems to be classic Giratina, but it also comes packed with a Cologne. You might wonder why is Cologne in here. Cologne could help out with the Greninja, by the way. So you can prime catcher Cologne with Greninja because of Mirage Gate. Is very cool, but also could shut down specific abilities. For example, the Iron Thorns has an ability, which means you cannot, of course, come with your Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX. So there's a couple of ways where you can use that Cologne. So that's pretty unique. Bloodmoon Ursaluna also make sure you can have a threat on board that actually can slap 240 damage, even if he didn't slap down a Giratina V beforehand. So that's actually pretty cool. Lalsotina still doing well. There's a Charizard list, very similar to the one that Tord popularized with both Pidgeot EX as well as Bibarel in the list. And there is a copy of Eerie in the list in here as well. The only new card I can see here is the Unfair Ace Spec card, allowing you, of course, to put the opponent to 2 cards while you can get a fresh hand of 6. So pretty much how Unfair Stamp goes is, both players shuffle their hand into the deck, and the opponent gets 2 and you get 6. But you can only activate it if the opponent took a prize card during their last turn. So if they knock something out, if they knocked out a Pokemon, you can actually use Unfair Stamp. It doesn't have to be the way that the opponent takes prize card, but just if the opponent knocks out a Pokemon, they the Ace Pack card actually will become useful with the Unfair Stamp. And putting the opponent to 2 cards on top of something like an Eerie could be very crippling for sure. So Charizard still doing well. Not a lot has changed there. There is a Lost Box also incorporating that Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX that actually slaps 240 damage and needs a 1 Scarlet Energy less for every prize card the opponent has taken. So Temple of Sinnoh also finding its way in more and more lists as of late, and the reason for that is because of Frenzy Gouging and Star Requiem not working now when Charizard lists are incorporating Mist Energy. But we're going to be focusing on the new cards mainly, so if we see some new cards, we're going to be talking about them instantly. Gardevoir also seems to be a big fan of the Unfair Stamp Ace Spec card. Other than that, this is a list we've come to know and love with Technical Machine Evolution and the high package of Arven. Also 1 copy of Eerie. Eerie seems to be super popular. Moving forward, there is a chien-pao over in Hokkaido in the north in Japan. City League here won by chien-pao. And also, the chien-pao came back with a Minior, also allowing you to have an answer against Snorlax Stall. There is a Cologne, there is a Prime Catcher, there's even a Vacuum and a Future Booster Energy Capsule. Future Booster Energy Capsule is a little bit too much because, let's be honest, if you start with Iron Hands, you probably want to be attacking with it. On Prime Catcher also gets it out of the active position, so not too keen on the Future Boost Energy Capsule, but does allow you to slap for 140 damage, really helping out the Ancient Box matchup, and definitely with the Vacuum on top of that as well. So they were prepared for lots of Ancient Boxes, it seems. Then there is a Goldango, believe it or not, with Palkia and some the Dunsparce in here. You might think a 1-2 line of Palkia VSTAR seems weird, but that's where the Hisuian Heavy Ball comes into play. And there's also playing that Ace Spec card here. I don't know if you've learned about it. It's Hyper Aroma, allowing you to get 3 stage 1 Pokemon from the deck. So that Ace Spec card, you don't see that often, but it actually helps out in this deck, getting out Goldango, Palkia V-Star, Goldango. Also, now that I think about it, I don't think you can get Palkia V-Star because it's a V-Star, not a stage 1, but I can get out Dunsparce and a couple of Goldangos, I suppose. I don't know if Prime Catcher is better than that. I personally would be playing Prime Catcher in a list like this, but hey, people are testing out some new Ace Spec cards and it seems to be working out. Then, Lost Box again, having a 1 copy of Iron Thorns EX. Iron Thorns EX has the ability that actually shuts down all the Pokemon's abilities that have rule boxes on the opponent's side of the field, meaning that everything like a Charizard with the Infernal Rain ability, or something like Squawkabilly with the Squawk and Seize ability, or Mew EX with an ability. Everything with an ability pretty much is shut down, even Radiant Greninja, which is super awesome. So that card on itself is actually an archetype, talked about that before, but in this exact 60 it's just Lost Box with some one-offs, very unique one-offs. No Roaring Moon EX in here. Instead they went just for the Lightning, Water and Psychic energies, and that means you can also power up Iron Thorns if need be. Cool. And then a Charizard to finish it all off. More Zards. There's has Cleffa in it and the Unfair Stamp, as well as Eerie. So in Japan, lots of people are fan of the Mist Energy to protect themselves from one-shot KO. So that's pretty cool. Moving forward, Arctina winning in the upcoming. Okay, actually it was City League in Kanagawa. So we see here it's just Arctina, Iron Leaves. And actually no new card from Twilight Masquerade is in this set. Actually in this deck. Then another Lost Box playing that 1 price Iron Leaves. The 1 price Iron Leaves actually slaps 100 damage, and if anything got knocked out during the opponent's last turn, you can actually use the way to slap 60 more damage. So that actually turns into 320. Still not enough, but maybe with some Sableye sprinkles could be enough to do some crazy stuff. And the reason why they're also playing this is that they also have Iron Valiant in this list, so pretty wacky build with also future boost energy capsules as some way to have free retreat. Very interesting list for sure. Moving forward, another Lost Box. Lost Box seems to be doing very well. Definitely with the come of the Bloodmoon Ursaluna, the deck is now more versatile than ever. You can actually play Radiant Greninja and a late game Beat Stick, which the deck previously didn't have. You had to choose between Radiant Greninja and like Charizard, Radiant Charizard, but now you technically have both because you have that Bloodmoon Ursaluna for the late game as well as draw power with Greninja. So Lost Box inherently gets way stronger. And then a Charizard Bibarel here, 4th place with no new cards, so the old 60s. And Spiritomb also gets more and more popular as more and more people are playing Rodon. Even 2 copies in this example here of the Charizard. We're not going to be checking out too many Charizards because they're almost yeah, looking like similar. Now we see Lugia VSTAR. Lugia VSTAR actually gets a little bit of a buff with the survival cost Ace Spec card. This actually means that if a Pokemon is instantly knocked out, its HP becomes 10 instead, meaning that if you put this on something like a Chinchino, ladies and gentlemen, you can create a Chinchino that is not getting knocked out, which means it gets slapped for 350 once again with a special roll, and a Bloodmoon Ursaluna also finds its way into Lugia. So yeah, you do see your Snorlax really dropping off here. Also some Flutter Mains in this exact 60, so that is kind of interesting. Maybe it's gonna help out. Yeah, maybe you need Flutter Mane to shut down Iron Thorns because Iron Thorns shuts down Summoning Star. So maybe that is kind of crucial to have like a Flutter Mane so you can actually use Summoning Star. But yeah, definitely an interesting deck for sure. Lugia still. Now Lugia only with 1 Flutter Mane. Lots of people played that to success, by the way, in the last couple of tournaments. A Torton in here, as well as an Iron Bundle. Again, Iron Bundle is also a way to push Iron Thorns out of Haywire. Just slap it around so you can actually activate your Summoning Star or maybe Luminion V. All the rest is pretty much the same. And then cool looking feature box here. Also using Unfair Stamp as the Ace Spec card. This actually got 5th place, but I just want to get some highlight onto a different archetype here. Yeah, the other one was a 4th place with Gardevoir, Mimikyu, and Klefki becoming part of the 60. Moving forward, some more Zard situations. We're not going to check out too many Zards here. Let's check out a Snorlax, which actually got 5th. What happens to Snorlax? pretty much nothing. No new cards from the Twilight Masquerade, although you could think about adding in that new item card that lets you look at the top 5 cards of the opponent's deck and select any basic Pokemon you find there and let them put them on the bench. I don't know if it's going to be making room. Maybe it was a 1-off or a 2-off in the deck. Could definitely be reasonable, but other than that, Snorlax block is still there. And we will most likely see some form of successful Iron Thorns. This actually got 9s, nothing to sneeze at. So we have Iron Thorns, Calamitous Wasteland to trap opponents with the high amount of gusting with 4 Bosses orders, and then you Crushing Hammer the opponent's targets. The Turbo Energize also allows you to accelerate some energies across your field, which is super nice, and also with a high amount of Eerie and Crushing Hammer, you just slow the opponent down. I've seen a lot of lists from Iron Thorns lately. There was a Snorlax. This Snorlax is incorporating Bloodmoon Ursaluna, so that's the only new card in this list. And then we have Dino Box, Ancient Box, with the Unfair Stamp at your disposal. So you do have a little bit of the comeback, because typically these lists are not playing Roxanne, let's be honest. You don't have the room for it, and sometimes you actually want to be using an ancient supporter of the choice. So Unfair Stamp makes its way into this list. There's another Lugia, and then Athena, also playing Bloodmoon Ursaluna and the Iron Leaf. So lots of 2-price Pokemon in lists currently, so that's interesting. I'm gonna get some highlights on the Arceus Vulpix Noivern deck. I actually was very close of playing Noivern at EOIC as well, but just went with Arceus Vulpix instead. So yeah, they're onto something. Against specific matchups, the opponent is not able to play the game. Then a Gardevoir taking down the tournament in Toshigi. Let's see here. Unfair Stamp is the Ace Spec of choice, and also coming packed with a new stadium, the Community Center, which actually allows you to heal 10 damage from each of your Pokemon if you've played a supporter during that turn. Meaning very similar to Champions Festival, allowing you to get that additional energy across, helping out with, of course, the extra damage onto something like a, I would say, does that even help out 60-60? I don't even know if this is actually that useful. Could heal off something like energies on Guardy, I guess. So interesting to see that they're playing that stadium. And then some more Zard. We don't need to see more Zard. We've seen enough. Another Lost Box here with the Bloodmoon Ursaluna and double Cologne. Dang, they're heavy on the Cologne. 2 Colognes. We do have Prime Catcher, we have Counter Catcher, we have Mirage Gate. Greninja is going to be doing so much work. Crazy. Okay, this is an interesting list with Miraidon and Regieleki VMAX. The list is playing all cards that are currently existing, so it's just a Miraidon deck with Raichu, Luxray, and friends. Raikou also still in here. Interesting. You don't see that every day. Charizard taking down a tournament with Snorlax Control-ish, with of course Bouffalant in here as well. Doing some stuff, Lure Module for the memes of it. This could actually be replaced instantly by that new item card. But I think new item card is still not legal currently for play over in Japan. So we will see an increase in that item count in, of course, the Japanese tournaments as well as here. Here we have Roaring Moon with Fluttermane and a Great Tusk in there as well. There's a Cyclezar with Free Retreat and an Iron Bundle to push Pokemon aside. And there's Enhanced Hammer in here. That could slow down a couple of decks out there, more in particularly. That could slow down the Iron Thorns deck. And also maybe could help a little bit out against Lugia, I suppose. We do... actually, the Enhanced Hammer is actually way better than the Temple of Sinnoh, by the way. Because you can Enhanced Hammer away a Mist Energy and then go for Frenzied Gouging. So Enhanced Hammer really helping out the Roaring Moon EX archetype. So that's cool to see. Iron Thorns, yeah, just playing 4 Iron Thorns, Eerie, Crushing Hammer. We don't see Penny in these lists, but sometimes Penny does show up here. Casting Cologne. I wonder for which archetype that is. Actually for Mimikyu, let's just be honest. You can actually shut down a Mimikyu, and then otherwise you auto lose against 1 Mimikyu. You don't want to see that. So there are 2 copies of the Casting Cologne. You can even add in 1 copy of the Silene if you just want to go overboard and if you're super afraid of stuff like the Mimikyu. This is also against playing Survival Cast Ace Spec card in the Lugia list, so it becomes more and more the norm, as well as a Fluttermane, just in case you see it in Iron Thorns. So there's that. Some Zards and Lugia, nothing to just write home about. There is a cool looking Greninja EX Palkia VSTAR Pidgeot EX list. That is very, very unique. Of course, Greninja EX allowing you to stop 170 damage, get any card you want from the deck instantly. Also sniping capabilities, 120 to 2 targets with the help of Cologne, with the help of Prime Catcher, and cards you can fetch out with the means of Irida and of course the Ninja Blade, the first attack. And as well as Quick Search, you could be doing miracles here. So I wonder how this list will be converting over in the West. There's a cool Raging Bolt at 5th place. Let's take a look at that. Raging Bolt with Arceus and Iron Thorns EX and all the Muckus Shandy Shocks as well. So I don't know if this list is any good, but yeah, it actually got 5th place in a Secret League. And then we go forward, another Zard. There's an Arctina. Let's see what the Arctina's packing with. No new cards, just classic Arctina. That's a little bit boring, let's be honest. There's a Dunsparce Roaring Moon EX list, and this actually is a well-established archetype with no new cards in there. Maybe you could incorporate that Enhanced Hammer in there, to be honest. There is a Goldango that guy actually took down a tournament with the Hisuian Basque Legion, getting all the energies back from the deck. Actually from the discard pile, slapping huge damage for 0 energies. Also, the Hyper Aroma Ace Spec card seems to be finding its way once again in Goldango, and it makes good sense because you can fetch it out with Irida, so that searches out a lot of Pokemon. So if you can get your setup with Buddy Buddy Puffin and then get that Hyper Aroma, I think Goldango is one of the lists that actually works the best with this situation. There's a Mewtwo VSTAR. Mewtwo VSTAR into Gardevoir. Man, they're really like cooking something over there in Japan. There is Lost Box Banette with 2 copies of the Banette and the Puppet, yeah, the Puppet Drifting or whatever it is. Puppet Offering, yeah, to get more cards in the Lost Zone, to of course get to that 7 more quickly. There's also this new Lana's Assistance, allowing you to get 3 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards, so pretty much Sableye and an energy, or Bloodmoon Ursaluna and an energy, something like that. You can get those back instantly, or maybe you want to have another iron bundle at your disposal. So I thought this was gonna see play, but I thought like, yeah, you cannot get Pokemon back with rule boxes, so this actually doesn't work with Bloodmoon Ursaluna now that I think about it. So yeah, it only works with your 1 prize Pokemon, so that's why I didn't thought it was any good, but it seems to play 3 copies as well in this list. That's kind of like overkill, I suppose, but it is what it is. Also 2 copies of Cologne. There's the Great Tusk Mill, getting 2nd place with an Unfair Stamp and Calamity's Wasteland on top of Counter Catchers. That's actually the way you can trap opponents very easily and get them out of resources. Very cool to see. There's a Greninja EX Charizard list. We talked out a lot about these lists, but this is actually stage 2 binder drop, as I call it, with of course the Hero's Cape, getting more HP to your specific Pokemon out there, and you either attack with, yeah, you always early game attack with Ninja Blade, late game attack with Infernal Ring, Charizard EX with Burning Darkness, and you have consistency with Pidgeot EX, and a couple of Rotom shenanigans with Insta Charge can get you all the way. I really wonder how it will convert over in the West, because that just looks crazy. There's a Lugia that won a tournament playing the Unfair Stamp, believe it or not. So there's that. Also the Vitality Band, getting yourself to some bigger numbers, by the way, because if you have like 2 DTEs onto something like Bloodmoon Ursaluna, you only actually slap 200, and that actually is not enough for a specific situation. So Vitality Band could help out, fix some numbers right here and there. So we'll see how Lugia develops, but it seems to be still strong going forward. All right, moving forward, we have an Palkia Iron Valiant deck that actually took down a tournament in Nara Park. Who remembers Nara Park with the deers and all that running around free in the city? So Palkia with Iron Valiant, chien-pao, a Bombear to just get your setup going, and a Bloodmoon Ursaluna, even Wild Freeze Articuno to, of course, freeze up some opponents that do not run switch cards. So a very unique list, but it doesn't seem to be all that powerful when I look at it. There is some more of the same stuff, so it looks like Lost Box is actually the deck that is doing the most lifting here with that Bloodmoon Ursaluna, getting, of course, the boost that it needs for that late game swoop. There is another chien-pao getting 2nd place. This is actually something that has been figured out already. Silene protection for stuff like the Eerie, discarding your energy retrievals or your rare candies and stuff. So that is definitely useful. So many decks to choose from. There is a Raging Bolt that took down a tournament, so we are obligated to take a look at it. There's yeah, the classic Raging Bolt with Sandy Shocks EX, Quack abilities for a turbo vibe with Pokegears, finding Sada, and yeah, also with some Pokemon catchers in there for the attacking the correct Pokemon early on. Arceus with Armor Rouge has seen success already over in the West in a tournament, so yeah, it actually is no surprise to see an Arceus pile performing well in Japan as well. Cobalion helping out that 30 additional damage with your basic Pokemon, so that could actually help out to dish out more damage with something like, I would say, the Radiant Zard or something like that, allowing you to stop 280. So here actually, if you can take a look at it, your basic Pokemon's attack do 30 more damage to your Darkness Pokemon from the opponent. So again, specific Pokemon that could help out. Only works with basic Pokemon though, so interesting. Then let's move on. There is some more Lost Box. I wonder if they're also playing. Yeah, it seems clear that Bloodmoon Ursaluna is giving new life to Lost Box. So guys, if you want to have some flower selecting parties again, it's time for you to go crazy. This is a Turbo Roaring Moon list with swag abilities. This is more kind of my trend, because actually this is one of the decks that helped me get my invite. So very similar to the deck. No more Cross Switcher, but we do have Prime Catcher. No Water Energies, but no E-Switches in here as well. We do miss Galarian Moltres, do we? Now that I think about it, yeah, some more of the same decks over there. Although, what was that? It was a Roaring Moon over here getting first place. Roaring Moon EX, no Enhanced Hammer or Temple to help out, but there is that. Another... This is Pidgeot control, like I would say the Italian box that Alessandro Cremascoli put on the map. And yeah, no Noivern in here, but there's a lot of control-ish archetypes helping this situation out. Buffalo Energy, putting energies into the Lost Zone. Luxray for the damage output when the opponent has like not a lot of Pokemon in play. You can trap Pokemon with the Tempting Trap of the Mawile. You can mill with the Jealousy Change of the CUGX, and you can also attack with the one and only Bloodmoon Ursaluna EX with the monstrous 260 HP. Damn. Okay, another Arctina. More of the same. No new introductions right there. Okay, let's move on to the next page. We have Ashihi, if I pronounce that correctly. There is a Goldango Scizor list, so instead of going for Palkia VSTAR, still going for that Punishing Scissors for every ability the opponent has in play. 50 additional damage with a 10 damage base. Very cool. Also seeing the TM Evolution and Goldango feels pretty nice on top of the Hyper Aroma Ace Spec card. Gardevoir also still around and has the best comeback in the game with Unfair Stamp. You can actually use Unfair Stamp as soon as your second turn to buy yourself some time to have enough energies in your discard pile. Cool to see. Iron Thorns, second place with Crushing Hammers and Eerie. And again, 2 Colognes for the Mimikyu. It could also work for other situations, I suppose, but more importantly that. And TM Devo with Eerie. Yeah, this is a very, very disruptive list. Slowing the opponent down with that ability. Gardevoir with a 3-2 line of a Spotra in the list as well. Allowing you to accelerate energies to Flittle and then evolve into a Spotra to then slap huge damage. Also hit Charizard for a weakness. Then, let's see. More Zards. So Zard still dominant, as it always has been. A bunch of Snorlax block decks popping up here. More of the same. Temple of Sinnoh still in the deck. Also a Fluttermane in that list. Pretty interesting. And also a Fluttermane in this list. Okay. Fluttermane is getting more and more plays. Niche plays, but they're here. Top 4 for the, I would say, future box. Not purely focused on Iron Hands, but also has Iron Leaves packed in. And also the baby Iron Leaves. Doesn't slap enough damage, but with a Future Boost Energy Capsule, it does go all the way for a 1-prizer, destroying Charizard EX, the most popular deck in the room. Zard taking almost down all this tournament. Top 4, 3 Zards, and then a Tina. Okay. Yeah, that was that tournament where the Tina was able to go out on top. There's a Palkia Bibarel list. Okay. Palkia Bibarel chien-pao with Iron Valiant. Interesting. No new cards have been implemented, but it's still around. There is a 5th place Greninja EX with Bloodmoon Ursaluna and Radiant Blastoise. Radiant Blastoise discarding a 1 water energy from hand in order to snipe 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, helping out to then gust up something like a Road-Up to still KO it with Ninja Blade of the Greninja EX. Yo, these are all very cool things to take a look at. There is a Palkia Liepard deck, and Liepard is the draw engine with 100 HP. Also coming back with the Empoleon that can summon itself from the discard pile to draw 3 cards if it's the only, if you have like 1 card in hand, something like that. Yeah, if you have no cards in hand, you can put it on the bench and then go crazy. So Alolan Vulpix also part of this deck. So Palkia also seems a little bit better, I suppose. Seems a little bit more play. Yeah, seems a little bit more play. This is an interesting one. Feraligatr with Palkia VSTAR, and if you guys have been living under a rock, Feraligatr actually puts 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, you stop 120 more during this turn, and with Irida you can find rare candy and all that stuff, so you can slap 280 quite consistently here, and with a lot of 2-price Pokemon in format. Think about like Goldango, Palkia, Roaring Moon, all those Pokemon, even Bloodmoon Ursaluna. The Feraligatr actually could be pretty interesting to test out. Okay, then an Iron Thorns. Really want to check that out again. No Penny. Sometimes they're playing Penny, but this has been the well-rounded 60 as of late. A Meowscarada, 6th place. Definitely want to be taking a look at that. We did make a video about Meowscarada already, so if you haven't checked that video out already, you should definitely do so. You can learn a lot of how Meowscarada actually works. Okay, there's a Snorlax block. Not that interested in that. Charizard with the Dunsparce. That's definitely something new. People are trying out lots of stuff, but if you're playing Zard, you're already doing that well. There is Bloodmoon Ursaluna with the Snorlax block combination. Okay. Chien-pao Pidgeot EX. Okay. That's also, I think something I made when Obsidian Flames first came to the scene was Pidgeot with Chien-pao EX, but that was in format with Path. Now Path is no longer a thing, so this could actually work out. As soon as you get Pidgeot out, you can get your retrievals time and time again. Also playing that one-off archetypes. Being a little bit afraid of TM Devo, because as long as Charizard is a public enemy #1, TM Devos will be flooded across a lot of decks. Survival Cast in this Lugia list, I got 2nd place. And Survival Cast that in this Lugia list, I got 4th place. Okay. Then Miraidon taking down a tournament. You don't see that every day. So very similar to the 60 that was actually established after Worlds over in Yokohama. With, of course, Raichu, with Raikou. Now we have the Iron Hands in here as well. So things we come to learn and love. No more Flaffies, but the list is actually playing a couple of energy stickers to help out with that. So Turbo, Miraidon, still around, it seems. Okay. A Drifloon, yeah, Gardevoir deck, getting 1st place. Yeah, also playing Unfair Stamp most of the time. There is still a Banette Lost box list, so more and more are playing the Banette to get to enough cards in the Lost Zone ASAP. So with Vacuum, with that Puppet offering, you can get to a lot of cards in the Lost Zone very, very quickly. Also playing that TM that allows you to slap 280 damage if the opponent has 1 prize card remaining. A Greninja EX list with a Vulpix in there, as well as Pidgeot and the Luxray. Luxray pretty good right now because a lot of lists are playing Pidgeot, and Unfair Stamp seems to be the ace spec of choice. Another Lugia playing the Survival Cast, and of course Flutter Mane to protect yourself from occasional Iron Thorns that come to show. Alright, Lugia was really present in that tournament with the top 10 decks actually having 8 Lugias, and let's see how many of them. This is actually playing a Master Ball. The one that played Master Ball was the most consistent, but of course the one with Survival Cast really helps out with prize denial, as well as having your energies in play for an additional turn with that Chinchino. We do see our Wug Trio, and actually 2 of them in the top 8 there. That actually is playing Fortress EX, Explode Yourself, and then Mill with the Wug Trio. With Survival Cast, you have additional turns, so very cool that yeah, Mill decks are trying out a new ace spec card that technically could help them in their favor. A Dialga deck taking down a tournament here with Metang, Zamazenta, and a Bibarel line thrown in there because that's something the deck was lacking, was some draw power. Mew EX is not always enough. Gardevoir also still around. I still see Gardevoir winning from time to time. Charizard and some Lugias. That's alright. Let's just see the Tina list one more time. Okay, it's just a classic Tina, not even incorporating the Bloodmoon Ursaluna, but does include that Cologne. Cologne seems to be getting a lot of hype in these Japanese tournaments, and there is a Pidgeot control with some Snorlax in there. So it actually is more Snorlax than, yeah, we have Snorlax Pidgeot, I suppose. Then a Great Tusk Mill, ace pack of choice, Survival Cast over the Heroescape, so you can get yourself an additional turn, by the way, so that's not bad. And you can also, yeah, it actually discards itself, so that's too bad. You could include Silene, but decks like that always want to be playing Ancient Supporter of choice. Gardevoir, 3 of them in the top 4. So Gardevoir making waves from itself. Unfair Stamp really helping out to slow the opponent down enough to, of course, get yourself into the game. So lots of people will love the fact that Gardevoir is still not dead. Classic chien-pao with an Archetypes. You see that more and more, by the way. Archetypes. Arceus Regidrago. Okay. Do come back with that Covert Flight with Noivern attack. You can have the Rolling Iron attack of the Goodra Regidrago, allowing you to copy-paste at the stuff and maximum belt. Cool. Very interesting. There's an ancient Dino box getting first place, playing that Unfair Stamp. So Unfair Stamp seems to be the best friend for the ancient box. Yeah, no more the Awakening Drum. Playing on the late game works out better, I suppose. Yeah, classic Zard list with an Unfair Stamp, and then Arceus Vulpix with Eerie, with Turo, Squawkabilly in there, and Bibarel. Man, nah. Don't put Bibarel in Arc Vulpix. It's not good. It's not good. Charizard Bibarel won another tournament with 2 copies of the Entei thrown in there. Then a future box. Actually, it's not future box. It's Miraidon. Also with 17 energies, making sure the electric generators hit perfectly. And yeah, that's a lot of decks we've already taken a look at. There's a Turbo Roaring Moon with the one-off Enhanced Hammer for the Mist Energy. That does make sense because you cannot discard it with something like Pokestop. There is a mixture of Iron Thorns and Iron Hands in the future box, so a little bit of a hybrid. You want to have the hammers with the Iron Thorns, but in specific situations, Iron Hands MP very much also can run away with games. There is Turbo Lost Box with the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. Alright. Then a Gardevoir winning another tournament with Greninja getting 4th place. Still, Greninja has it hard to take down tournament, but also playing the new Upper Energy. I wonder why you would play that over any other energy, but hey, yeah, people are doing it. You could still, let's say, oh yeah, it could also mean like if you have just water energy attachment. Yeah, I don't know. New Upper Energy seems really bad in this list. I don't know. There are way better ace packs around. Okay, and then 2 more tournaments we're checking out here. There is a Fortress Bloodmoon Ursaluna that I really want to check out here. You blow yourself up, and then you have your instantly access to the powerful attack of the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. You can have Penny and stuff, so very wacky list. And then to finish it all off, Lost Box winning, some Gardevoirs in 4th and 5th place, and then Charizard as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, the run through of some of the decks that were played during the Japanese City Leagues last weekend. So we have a little bit of an understanding. I think the main conclusion is there. Bloodmoon Ursaluna is insane, that the card is broken. Unfair Stamp is also very good, so those are like the most played cards. Also Survival Cast seeing more and more play, but only in Lugia as of late, and sometimes in Great Tusk and other like mill-ish decks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button, subscribe for more daily Pokemon TCG content, and as you all know, go check out our sponsors that make the video possible. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Use the coupon ZABLOS5 to get 5% off on everything. YourPlaymat.com for your unique custom playmat. PotanStar.com for your TCG Live code card needs. And CardMarket.com if you're a European player to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG madness. Peace!